Imagine this. A deadly alien warrior crash lands into 1719 North America. No machine guns, no helicopters, no modern tech, just raw survival in the untamed wilderness. And somehow, it results in one of the best Predator movies we've seen in decades. Prey didn't just catch me off guard. It completely reignited my love for the franchise. It's bold, stripped down, and exactly the kind of fresh take the series needed. And today, we're breaking it all down. Why Prey works so well, why it's the fresh breath this franchise desperately needed, and what the future might hold for the Predator. Whether you're a longtime fan or you tapped out after the 2018 mess, this one's worth your time, and I'm going to tell you why. Hey, I'm Adam, and welcome back to my channel, where we deep dive into all things movies. Today's review is a special one, because we've officially reached the end of our Predator franchise journey. For now. We started with the legendary 1987 original, and we've hit every film since, from cult classics to guilty pleasures to full-on disasters. But Prey, this one is a comeback story. And stick around, because near the end of the video, I'll be talking about the two new Predator projects on the horizon. Predator Badlands and Predator Killer of Killers. Yeah, they're coming, and I'm already hyped. Also, a quick heads up. After today's review, we're shifting gears back into our Alien franchise review. So make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Now let's get into Prey. So first off, I loved this movie. Like, genuinely loved it. Prey doesn't try to outdo the original by going bigger. It goes back to the basics, and that decision is exactly what makes it work. The plot is simple, but incredibly effective. A young Comanche woman named Naru wants to prove herself as a capable hunter, but her path crosses with something far deadlier than any mountain lion or rival tribe. Our favorite trophy hunter, the Predator. That premise alone is such a cool twist on the Predator formula. It's the same core idea, survival against an apex killer. But the historical setting makes everything feel fresh. There are no commandos, no helicopters, no modern weapons, just instinct, the environment, and strategy. The vibe of this movie? Pure tension and survival. It strips away the high-tech, overly CGI chaos that plagues some of the recent entries and brings it back to a primal, grounded experience. It feels raw, it feels dangerous, and it feels real. The rural wilderness look is absolutely stunning. From sweeping plains, to dense forests, to fog-drenched hills. This movie makes nature feel like both a sanctuary and a threat. It's not just background scenery, nature becomes an active part of the storytelling. You feel the isolation, the vulnerability, and how unpredictable the wild is, even before the Predator shows up. And speaking of Naru, played by Amber Midthunder, she's phenomenal. This is a star-making performance. She brings intensity, vulnerability, intelligence, and raw determination. Watching her go from underestimated tracker to full-on warrior is just as compelling as anything the Predator does. You believe her arc. You feel every setback, every small victory, every tactical shift she makes. And what's great is the film never turns her into a superhero. She's scrappy, she makes mistakes, but she learns. And she adapts. Which, by the way, is the exact trait the Predator respects in its prey. That dynamic is subtly built throughout the movie. Now let's talk Predator. This thing is finally terrifying again. Gone is the overly designed, hulking CG mess from the 2018 The Predator. Instead, we get something leaner, more primitive, but still incredibly dangerous. This Predator doesn't rely on fancy gadgets or brute force. It stalks, it studies, and when it attacks, it's brutal. This design choice was genius. It suggests that even the Predators evolve. This one feels like an earlier breed. Its tech is a little rougher, its armor a little less advanced, and its mask more bone-like and more tribal. There's a rawness to it that mirrors the film's setting perfectly. It's a Predator from a time when the hunt mattered more than the kill. The kills are visceral and creative. You've got bear fights, French fur trapper massacres, brutal one-on-ones. It's all there. But it's never mindless violence. Every encounter escalates the story. Every death teaches Naru, and us, something new about this creature. The pacing is another strength. The movie doesn't rush, but it never drags. It builds steadily, letting us get to know Naru and her world before the chaos truly begins. And when it does, the final 30 minutes are pure survival thriller. I also want to shout out the score. The music blends haunting ambience with rhythmic tension, pulling from native instrumentation and giving the film an identity all its own. It doesn't try to recreate Alan Silvestri's iconic theme, but it doesn't need to. It has its own soul. Seriously, the third act is phenomenal. It's shot beautifully. The cinematography captures both the beauty and the danger of the natural world. There's one specific moment, no spoilers, that involves firelight, a tomahawk, and the Predator's cloaking tech, and it's just beautiful. If I had one major gripe, it's that Prey wasn't released in theaters. This movie deserved the big screen, the scale, the visuals, the sound design. It would have been incredible to experience with an audience, and I honestly think it could have made decent money. It had all the ingredients of a sleeper summer hit. Great buzz, great reviews, great word of mouth. I really think it could have done District 9 or 10 Cloverfield Lane numbers if given a proper rollout. But instead, it dropped quietly on Hulu, and while I'm glad it was made accessible, I can't help but feel like it was robbed of its moment. This is the kind of genre film that could have built real word-of-mouth buzz in theaters. Still, it found its audience, the online reception was overwhelmingly positive, and for good reason. This isn't just a good-for-streaming movie, it's just a flat-out good movie. The best thing about Prey? It respects the Predator legacy while boldly doing its own thing. It doesn't rely on callbacks or Easter eggs, it doesn't try to recreate Dutch or mimic the old beats. Instead, it reimagines the core idea. Human versus alien. Survival versus extinction. Predator versus prey. And it places that concept in a setting we've never seen before in this universe. That's what makes it great. It reminds us why we fell in love with this creature in the first place. Because the Predator is terrifying, mysterious, and deadly. And it gives us a new, compelling protagonist to root for. Naru's final showdown with the Predator, top tier. One of the best final battles in the entire franchise. Not because it's the biggest, but because it's the smartest. She uses brains over brawn, strategy over strength, and it's incredibly satisfying to watch play out. And that's where this movie peaked for me, when a Predator movie finally understood what made the original so special. Not explosions, not bigger guns, not a high body count, just good characters, good tension, a great monster, and a story that actually respects the audience. So that wraps up Prey, and with it, our full journey through the Predator franchise. Well, for now. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This movie proves that there's still life left in this franchise, if it's handled with care. And the good news, we've got more coming. Predator Badlands and Predator Killers of Killers are both on their way, and if they follow in Prey's footsteps with bold settings, smart characters, and actual suspense, we could be looking at a thriving Predator universe again. Imagine seeing a Predator stalking through the dust storms of the Old West, or tearing through the rival alien clans of some kind of interstellar arena. It's such a rich universe when you don't try to overcomplicate it. Just give us grounded stakes and great atmosphere. Until then, this is where we leave the jungle, the cities, the frozen pyramids, and the Comanche Nation behind. But don't go too far, because next, we're diving back into the Alien franchise, from chestbursters to android betrayal to xenomorph queens. It's gonna get weird, dark, and absolutely awesome.
Get away from her, you bitch!
If you enjoyed this Predator review series, drop a like, leave a comment with your ranking of the franchise, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for watching. I'm Adam, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.